Hi there, hope you enjoyed part one of our documentary last week. This week we are going to be focusing on the student athlete. Our captain T is going to be at the forefront of this documentary with some other students. So we're going to be looking at classroom activities and the education, and also be touching on parts of the training and match day again. Okay.
Right, it's Monday, 8:45. Big week at Desa. 2 games, but one big game against Peterborough United under 18s. Yeah, as you can see, everyone's turning up now. Looking forward to the week. Right, classroom's all set up, ready for analysis. You can see we've got the game on the board here, which we're about to observe on our new software that we've got and bought into. Got our little football table on here, also ready for tactics as well. And I'll walk you into the players meeting that we've got at the moment. So obviously we just had our players meeting, and
it's good vibes on a Monday morning. There's good vibes, good vibes.
Good vibes, as you can tell. There's good vibes around everywhere, and yeah, we just had our player meeting. Being told that standards are going to be higher.
Yeah, it's a pretty big week this week.
Yeah, big
especially
weeks.
Games for Peterborough. No Cat 1 and Cat 2 games on Wednesday. However, expectations has to be high, so we've got to make sure we go in on Wednesday.
Yeah, obviously we're going to go in and make sure that we do the best that we can, and obviously get the win against Peterborough and tonight.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome to analysis. Obviously, looking at the 5-0 win against USB Storm. T, skipper, just going to be a bit of a student-led theme today. So, T's going to come up as skipper. We're going to firstly look at the report from the team's point of view. Okay. From that report, T's going to have a tactical meeting with the group, and you're going to draw up a list of strengths and weaknesses from that report. That you think we need to address when we're watching the video back through. And then while that's happening, individuals are going to come up here with me, and we're going to be looking at the individual player reports, so your in-depth stats.
You can tell we've obviously scored 5 goals, but if we look on, if we go down on the total amount of shots that we've had 29 shots, and I think 5 goals from 29 shots. I'll take that, but more clinical. That's how many shots? 6 shots saved. Shots off target 9. Obviously, like I said, we've got to be more clinical, and we've had 9 shots blocked as well. So overall, I thought that. I don't know what you guys think. What do you, Charlie? What do you think of the stats?
I think they're alright. I just think, like I said, we've been more clinical as a front goal.
What do you feel after that analysis session? What do you think that we need to improve in really for obviously the game against Peterborough tomorrow?
Being more patient and trying not to force things.
So be more patient in our midfield or in the final thirds. Yeah, I mean on the stats we lost the ball quite a few times, especially in the final thirds. So, I don't know. What do you think we need to play through the midfield a bit more?
Yeah, just toy with their defence, look for clear openings instead of trying to force things through.
Yeah. So first part of analysis done. Obviously went through some tactics and the stats report for last week's game against SUP Storm. So yeah, that first part is done. Obviously we've gone through our strengths and weaknesses, what we should do better, what we could have done better, and obviously we're just going to build on from that for the next session that we've got. It's hard for us to intercept, especially when we're pressing left midfield intercept.
That's fair enough. So you've shown it. If you were showing people the right way, whose stats would you expect to be higher?
Gentlemen, just talk us through what you've been doing this morning.
So we started this morning with analysis, and we've been doing positional work and pressing from the front. So obviously there's a big thing at Desa this year where we've kind of followed in Liverpool's footsteps with Klopp's idea of defending from the front. So we've been looking at Roberto Firmino, because he's a reason why Liverpool, in my opinion, are doing so well at the minute. Mainly because he's the one at the front, making sure he's getting pressed and bringing the team up, midfield up and defence up.
Lee, if you start with you, just tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
We're going to be looking at the skeletal system, so types of bones and different types of joints and joint movements.
Okay, and then obviously we've had 10 years of teaching together, so what we'd know that nationally, the anatomy unit's probably the one across the country a little bit complicated with kids. As a master innovator that you are, innovation personified, what have you come up with today?
To be quite honest, I think anatomy is a little bit like football. So it's the repetition of just keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more the boys remember it. But we're just trying to look at different ways of doing it. So today we're looking at songs. So last week, one group of boys had to do just a little snippet of a song about the body. Today we're going to use this song to help them remember the different bones in their body.
James, I know you're a big believer in sharing good practice. Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel that this resource that you're using will help the learners?
We're really fortunate today because we've actually got a teacher who wants to come. What's her name? Brian, and she's just doing a PGCE, and she's actually coming in to observe some good practice. So we've got a starter task where they'll be doing a recap on a Kahoot, which is an interactive game where they can link up on their mobile phones, and it's recapping on the previous session. And then Lee and I found a song, which, can I just show you a clip?
Well, yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Which actually breaks down the whole of the skeletal system. We're going to get the guys to sing this in their groups and maybe come up with their own songs.
What a great song this is.
Forearm is separated in two. It is made radius ulnar. Parts response better carpals on fingers. 4 times.
Come on, boys. Gentlemen, thank you ever so much. Brilliant way of engaging learners. Just on that, are you going to be encouraging them to do their own song?
Oh yeah, 100%. Anything to help them remember different types of bones, and then link it to their football and their training practice.
Louder.
And both scapula to shoulder blade, the spine. The bones make pelvis, arm above is clavicle, sternum and breastbone plate, the thigh. The tail's the coccyx.
Jay, just talk us through what you're doing.
We're watching Tech and Tack, and we're watching Arsenal Man City game. Basically, all we're doing is just taking notes on things that our chosen players do. So I've chosen Aubameyang, and I'm gonna analyse his play, look for the long shots he does, which are successful, and tally them, and the ones that are unsuccessful, and tally them.
After you do that, how are you going to sort of go into a bit more depth about it?
So we'll choose, obviously, the ones that we think we can talk about in detail, write them on the back, and then explain why certain things happened, why they made an error in the position that they've done, or why they were successful in doing a certain thing, and then we'll kind of go from there on and talk about their strengths and weaknesses.
How does this unit compare to something like psychology?
I mean, psychology is a bit different to Tech and Tack, but they can sort of like interlink together because depending obviously on the players' motivation of the day and maybe what they've gone through in training or whatever, there might be factors that may play into the reason they may have had a poor game or the reason they might have had a good game.
Cool.
So obviously technically and tactically you break it down your chosen player's game. We've just obviously asked, has anyone in the group maybe picked up something on their player that they wouldn't have done if they were just watching it at home? Obviously T, skipper, back and front. What is it you've picked up so far?
So my player that I was analysing was Aubameyang, Virus and Aguero on the side to compare the two. And in the first 35 minutes of the game, I think Aubameyang has only touched the ball twice, and that's only been him running in behind, getting it, and then throwing it back. And one of the times he was holding it up and playing it. So he hasn't actually had any shots at goal in the first day. minutes. He's made a lot of successful forward runs, but the ball hasn't always gone to him. Right, so obviously I've just had a tech and tact lesson analysing the Manchester City Arsenal game in the Carabao Cup. Man City won 3-0, and in the session I was basically analysing a forward, so I analysed Aubameyang and Sergio Aguero, their movement, their hold of play, their dribbling, their first touch, etc. And I think this game's obviously tonight as we're facing Peterborough at home at Durham. I think doing this analysis on them players is really going to help me, and obviously my other forward partners to link up well, and obviously know how to play together as a partnership, and learn from obviously the professional strikers playing in the Premier League on what type of movements that we can play and make, and sort of like try and adapt to certain situations. So I think this would really help against a team that's going to be really, really tough, Peterborough United under 18s. So yeah, see how the game goes tonight.
Okay, I'm here with Cat 1 manager and Cat 1 player Charlie and Tom. Peterborough tonight, what are your thoughts, Tom?
I think it's a wonderful fixture for our programme that we can attract a proper academy team like them and their best team. And I think it's quite an honour that they're using us for their preparation for the FA Youth Cup game they're going to be drawn in. And I think it's a wonderful reality check for us at the right time that we need after like 5 straight wins in the league.
Charlie, excited?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a lot fitter than us, so it'll be a real test for all the players out there. I think they'll start quicker than us. I think that'll really get us thinking about what we've got to do to beat them.
How will you approach the game tonight, Tom? How you've won 5 games in a row for Cat 1. Will you change anything on the opposition?
No, we've got a team this year of predominantly 7 first years, so we're going to be really, really young. And I think the word's fearless, and the other word would be brave. We're not changing for anyone. We've done that in the past. We've won games here with players that are bigger and stronger, and we have to play in a more defensive manner. We've got real good technical players. So it's not a league game. We're not going to drop points. No one needs to have any fear. Just need to go out there and play our game and see what happens. We're expected to lose, so
Thank you.
You're outstanding. When you dribble into crowds of people, you're better than that. Right? So decision making. If you've got space and run into the ball, do it.
here with Adam Holbrook, Ethan Morn. Lads, just give us your reflections on last night's Peterborough defeat.
I think it was a good reality check. We've been playing a bit of a lower level recently. We've been winning like every game, so I think it was good to play like really good opposition. I think we started off slow, but when we got into the game, we competed well. We did well, and
it definitely helped to get tested because we're just breezing through everything at the moment. So it definitely helps to lose to get that mentality of winning everything back.
Heath, Adam mentioned a bad start, 2-0 down after 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
What did you think at that point?
I think everyone something just clicked and everything. Everybody just to win the game, really, just to fight back against such a good opposition. Everyone wanted to play themselves, really.
So disappointed to lose, but in reflection, ads after being down that quickly, do you think it was good character from the lads ending up 3-0?
Yeah, I think it was really good from us. I think we thought that after 2-0, we thought right, we've just got to get into the game, and I think we fought back really well. I thought back really well, and the defence sorted it out. We communicated a lot better, and we turned out to be a good game.
What can you take from the 20 minutes before half time, Heath, as a team?
A lot of positives, because we definitely stepped up a lot, playing it a lot quicker and a lot more intense to keep up with them. We were definitely toe-to-toe within that.
Ads, this sets you up nicely for your FA Youth Cup game next week. What can you take into that game from what you learned yesterday?
We can take in that now there's no reason to be nervous at the start. We can go in strong and start how we mean to go on.
I don't think Well, I don't change a lot, but like I adapt to some of the situations that I'm in. So for instance, in all honesty, I'll be honest, if I'm like, I'll act completely different to like how I am at home to like how I am around everyone else. I'm pretty sure that's the same with most people, just because there's a certain level of respect for like my parents and stuff like that. I won't really do certain things that I do outside of like college that I actually would do at home and stuff like that. So for instance, I think in terms of like personality changes, I'm a brother to my little sister, and sometimes I can be a little bit not the best brother because like I wouldn't want my sisters to be listen to like some of the music that I listen to because of like some of the content in it and stuff like that. But I'll still like play it out loud on my speaker whilst like my door's open and she's probably doing her homework or something like that. And like that's not really the example that I would want to be setting for her, but I do it anyway.
Okay, here with second year student Josh Rowe. How you doing, Josh?
Not bad, thank you.
Just tell the viewers a little bit about what you do in terms of how your course is broken down a little bit differently from other learners on the course.
Yeah, well, we have the option to take an A level, one alongside it, and I've taken biology. That's because I want to go into physiotherapy, and I think it would benefit me a lot. You have to still obviously have to attend Desa sixth form, which is just down the road, and well, there's like either a training or a lunch period or something like that. You have to go to sixth form, do an A level. I do 5 1 week and 4 another week as well. So it's just broken down, and like they try and get the BTEC lessons different to the A level lessons. So they work around it, so it gives you a good opportunity to get an extra qualification.
Awesome.
So it's currently 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, and I'm off to my A level. So wish me luck.
We just measure the time left, time for the DCPIP to go colourless. So how can we get a right to photosynthesis?
So when you enter through here, this is our players' lounge. This is the place where the players come in and socialise with each other. So as you can see, we've got computers which are linked to the servers at the sixth form that allow us to do our work and save them to the server so we don't lose our work. Over here we have a football thing where players come and play together, and it helps us connect and have a better team cohesion. Over here we have a TV where we can watch in our spare time, and it allows us to keep our energies high and keep team spirit high when we're all bored, and yeah, it's fine.
And here, Nunny's Nutrition. Just talk us a little bit through what Nunny's Nutrition is.
Basically, the idea started that he wanted to create a business around Desa where he sells protein shakes to students at Desa so they can better their active lifestyle and take more care in their gym work, and it would help him with his knowledge about business if that's what he wanted to do in the future.
If you could describe Nunny's Nutrition, what words would you use?
I would say it's second to none. And sometimes it's a bit clumsy. It never gets to plan, but it's good for him that he tries to do that. It's good for the players, and yeah, hopefully more people. It should encourage more people to be more innovative with stuff and try out new things and be creative around Desa.
That is the superior part of your heart, and the lower part is the inferior part of your heart. Like we were talking about earlier, you've got one part that works under a lower pressure, that's pumping blood to your lungs, and then one part that's working under higher pressure, that is pumping blood to your working muscles.
Okay, Kurt, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good, mate. Just tell us a little bit about what you're doing in this lesson.
I've been doing the structure of the heart.
Okay, what have you learnt so far?
I've learnt there's 4 chambers, and the top is the superior and the lower is the inferior chamber.
Fantastic. How much do you enjoy these lessons?
A lot.
Good. Who's your favourite teacher?
Lee.
Disgusting.
Within your presentation, make sure you say the functions of each part of the heart as well. Okay, so it's not good enough to just label up the heart. You need to be describing for the pass or explaining for the merit the actual functions of each part of the heart.
Hi Ben, can you just tell me about the heart and the direction of the blood flow and what happens in each chamber?
So there's 4 main chambers: the right atrium, the left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. The blood flows from the body through the vena cava to the right atrium, and then it flows to the right ventricle, where there it heads to the lungs from the pulmonary artery. And then it gets oxygen from the blood, from the lungs, then comes back through the pulmonary vein, back to the heart, and then that enters through the left ventricle, left atrium, then it flows to the left ventricle, and then it heads back to the body from the aorta from the left ventricle.
Well done Ben, I'm just going to put you under a little bit of pressure live on television. What you're now going to do, you're going to turn your notes over, but before you do that, you're going to just visualise it, like an AA route planner. Alright, okay, picture it in your head, and then you're going to deliver that same wonderful speech without cheating. Okay, ready? Go.
Okay, so the blood comes from the vena cava to the right atrium, and then it flows down to the right ventricle. Then it leaves through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. The lungs then oxygenate the blood, takes it to the left atrium, then to the right ventricle, left ventricle, and then it leaves through the aorta to the rest of the body.
Congratulations, Ben. Hi, James. You've got 2 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Cool. James, just obviously you've got a unit coming up with the first years today. Can you just give us a little bit about what you're going to be teaching and what the learner's going to get from it today?
Well, the first thing we do is we reflect on previous learning, so we do a little bit of a recap. The learners do struggle to get their heads around that they're doing 2 units at once, so we integrate assessing risks and sports coaching. So firstly, identifying what learning outcomes are assessing risks and what learning outcomes are sports coaching, and try and get them to map across. They're looking at roles and responsibilities of a sports coach today, identifying role models within the sporting context with managers within football, and then comparing them to maybe a manager in rugby or cricket, and looking at comparisons of the same traits within the managerial role.
Okay, here with Killian Bound and James Sufflin, sports coaching unit. Kill, what are you doing today?
We are learning about the 4 roles and responsibilities of a coach, and learning how it impacts people in a game or elsewhere. And yeah, it's taught me a lot.
James, obviously there's a little bit of independent learning going on. Is that important to you?
Yeah, as I said before, we're just trying to link assessing risks to sports coaching. So we just watched a video about motivation, and this American footballer put another American footballer on the back of someone, and the coach actually rode them the whole length of the football field blindfolded. We actually linked that to negligence, and we asked, do we feel that that's right? Do you feel that you need motivating in that particular way? Do you think that would be frowned upon? Can you remember any of the other things that we said a sports coach could be?
It could be a role model, motivator, could be a leader.
Good. Who would be your role model as a sports coach?
Well, within this vicinity,
no, like you might look at it in the Premier League.
Sorry,
Tom Hart's conference. Who would be your role model?
For me, it's always been either Sergio Ramos or David Luiz. David Luiz in the World Cup. How competitive he was, how he wanted to win for his
Think about it in a coaching concept though.
Think about
players. Oh, honestly, sorry, at home, I'm really choked up here.
Well, as a Chelsea fan, I used to look up to Jose Mourinho. But
good answer.
Since he's been at United, it doesn't seem like he's working for him at United, and it did the same thing at Chelsea when he was after the 2 to 3 years that he was in charge.
Interesting. What's broken down then? What part of the elements we spoke about?
It's hard to handpick, but I feel like his relationship with players is sometimes off. But I don't know. I wouldn't know.
If you take anything into this unit, so let's say you got appointed as Deering Town Manager tomorrow, what would you, from this unit, what would you take into your new role?
Well, with the clip that we saw earlier, motivation's key. Keeping your players motivated and wanting to drive hard and do more as a player.
Great. James, any budding young coaches that you're seeing in this unit already?
The under-18s managers. With Luke, who's only, was he 18? I've always said he seems beyond his years. So he's very considered in how he talks. The boys seem to have a good respect for him. We went up to the school and we did some sports coaching up at Northgate High School. A couple of guys who really stood out were Dario. Killian was very good. And Ben Ramfit, he was running a yoga session. So it was very structured. He was a good leader, kept people motivated and encouraged. The group seemed to respect him. So that was great.
Tell us a little bit about what you are encouraged to do in your spare periods.
During our free periods at Desa, we're encouraged to do our assignments or anything that could help us in our personal lives and outside of Desa in the near future.
Can you give us some examples of that?
An example of that would be, if you're a second year, you could be writing your personal statements or doing your CV if you're interested in doing apprenticeships or creating your America scholarship videos.
What targets have you been set this week personally?
I've been trying to complete my personal statement for my apprenticeship next year after I finish the course.
Great. And if all your work and personal targets are up to date, what are you encouraged to do outside?
To stay healthy, to be self-active, eat well, and just make sure you stay fit for football.
Yeah, and talking of the football, so you see some boys outside practicing now.
Yeah.
What do you think's good about Desa in that aspect?
The fact that we get the opportunity to do that outside of our timetable. The fact that the boys can come in and train for, well, as long as they want before the lesson starts. And it gives them opportunities to train with other players that they maybe haven't trained before.
How has it helped you evolve as a person?
It's made me step out of my comfort zone more. I'm able to mix with certain people that I wouldn't have done before, and it's made me more social.
Brilliant. If you were going to recommend this to anyone watching at home, why?
I would say the course is quite sophisticated. It's unlike any other ones around this area because of the opportunities that it gives you and the fact that the people who run it are caring and understanding and will motivate you and push you to achieve things that you wouldn't otherwise think you would.
Thanks, Tam. Thank you. Here with under-18 manager Luke Milligan and George Whitmore. How you doing, boys?
Good, mate.
Good. So tonight's game, North Walsham away. Luke, thoughts?
It's going to be a hard game tonight. I think their form in the league isn't realistic to how they'll play tonight. Their performances and results don't match what sort of team they are, what sort of environment they put in place for away teams. I think that we haven't actually played that well this season, but have managed to win 5 out of 5 in the league. So that also is a little bit false. I'm looking tonight for a good performance and a good result, but I understand that a lot of boys played Tuesday night against Peterborough and they've had a lot of games recently. They've been working really, really hard.
So, G, you go into the game tonight with quite a few players unavailable due to the Peterborough game. And obviously you had minutes last night. How are you feeling?
Quite tired. Should be a good test for the boys tonight. Played decently against Peterborough. Haven't got strong, not got a bad team, but not the strongest tonight. It's a hard place to go away. Found it close to the pitch. So, see how it goes.
Luke, you've experienced that before in your years playing. Very, very difficult place to go. How do you think the players need to approach that tonight?
Well, we've got to be hard to beat. In recent years, when I've played there, we've slipped up and it's cost us at the end of the season. I don't know if we've actually won there in recent years. But we need to be hard to beat. We need to be physical. we need to match them in that they'll give everything, they'll work hard. We need to match them all over the park, and then hopefully our talent will outshine their hard work.
All the best, you lads.
Cheers.
Right, so obviously we're here at the Leisure Centre in Durham after a futsal session. Decent intensity. First year is always something new for them anyway. But yeah, the reason we do this anyway is because it helps us play better in tight situations in a football game. It helps work harder as well, helps with our fitness and technical ability, especially goalkeepers. Sometimes playing out of field helps them improve their feet, be able to play out from the back, which is one of the philosophy that we like to do here. And yeah, just overall it helps us as well. We've got some people at the gym upstairs doing some fitness work and upper body work and stuff. And yeah, so some people doing swimming as well. So yeah, that's what we do on a Thursday afternoon.
But you come up against some good opposition. But actually, in parts of the game, weren't better than you. But in parts of the game were better than you, and they scored 3 goals, and we didn't have a shot, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, in 90 minutes. Alright, so them fine margins and them little things are what win in competitions. And I'm guessing you want to win something this year. Right, so the fine margins in this sports hall, right, they're good habits. The reason we do this is to get you in good habits to take it onto the 11-side pitch.
So Jake, why do you come to the gym?
I come to the gym twice a week here. I do it so I can build some muscle. I'm not the biggest person, so building muscle is good for me. I can then bring that into the game as I play in the defensive part of the team. Bring it into the game, use my strength against the opposition. I like going to the gym just to keep up my fitness. I usually do arms or core. Sometimes I use a treadmill. I also use it when I've had a game. I come in here for some rehab, so I use the stretches over there to just loosen my muscles up, so I'm ready for the next training session on Friday. And yeah, I just use it to keep me fit. So.
Okay, here is Sam Tickler. Sam, working on your analysis assignment. Can you just tell me how the software that we use for Desa is aiding you with your assignment?
Basically, our assignment, we have to look what we've done during the game, analyse it, and here I can see exactly what I've done, how many passes I've made, how many interceptions I've made. So here you can see I made 16 interceptions during the game versus Peterborough. See where they all are. You can get a heat map of the most common places where I received it, and where also here you can see where I received balls, and again look at a heat map and where I've got the ball.
Does this allow you to go into greater detail within your assignments?
Yes, definitely. Because on watching a video, you can't see every position, get a heat map and where you most get the ball, and on here you can, and also you can put that in the assignment. And
from drawing upon your strengths and weaknesses, how does that allow you to go a little bit further?
You can obviously look at strengths by, well, you can look at the passes you made, the short passes you made, when you gave it away, and then every time you gave it away, you can look if there's a
Does it tell you what area of the pitch you do it in?
Yeah. So here, if I click on there, you can see where they all are, where all my passes go. And there's one in there, there's some mostly in here because I played left centre back that game.
Great stuff. Okay, here with first year George Whitmore. George, off the back of a heavy defeat, your first defeat in the under-18 league last night against North Walsham. Tell us your thoughts.
Sloppy. They played well last night, deserved to win. I think it's good that we lost. It's a reality check for the boys, 14-0. From the start of the season, I think it's just good that we lost. Get our heads on straight and go again next week.
What have you learned in terms of 14 in a row, and we've been keeping lots of clean sheets. Last night was on paper looks like it's completely imploded, but there's a reason why you've let 6 in.
Yeah.
What have you learned from that game?
Everyone needs to come together as a family at Desa. We all need to buy into it, and no one argues with each other, and everyone works hard for each other on the pitch, and we're all friends on the pitch. Even if you're not off the pitch, you'll stick together on the pitch.
And I suppose running is a given, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know? So, okay, so you're in this morning, which is great. So you could have a lie-in, you could come in and do your lessons, but you're up early, 6 o'clock. You've come in, you know, for 8:30 to do what?
Some extra work for fitness, maybe something along those lines, make myself better.
Okay, and what's your reasons behind that? What are you looking to develop?
Become more of an athlete, be able to run longer, run harder, run longer distances, and make my way into the Cat 1 team regularly.
Okay, so we're now outside the back, just set up a little session for Georgie in terms of his repeated sprint fitness. From a coach's point of view, I absolutely love the fact that people are coming in before their lessons start and training. And I think that's a culture that we really want to embrace here. Absolutely love that. And I think, you know, listen, you get your rewards for the work that you put in. He'll get that. And I hope that inspires a lot of the others as well. Cheech, tell us a little bit about what you've done so far.
Just running really, backpedaling and sprint to cones, imitate closing the ball down in the game.
Yeah, and why do you think we're doing the backwards to forwards motion? What's that going to help you improve on?
Speed and explosiveness.
Yeah. Now obviously we have to be careful today about how much we do, because you had a game last night, warranted you didn't. I mean, yeah. Well, we could have all worked a lot harder last night from the sounds of it, but need to be careful. But this is the part you need to now improve.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Lactic?
Yeah, very.
Go push through it.
So cheers for tuning into the Desa documentary part 2. It was fun to make, plenty of interviews, plenty of see what life was like at Desa.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have now got a better understanding of what it's like to be a student athlete, obviously at Desa. Some of the things that we go through as students, and especially me as captain, some of the challenges that I may have to face, but also what I have to do during a day-to-day
basis
at Desa. So helping out with certain assignments, not assignments, but analysis and stuff like that, and making sure that obviously everyone's on top of everything. So yeah, cheers a lot for that.